All right, listen up, because the internet has been going wild over the past few hours. Seriously, the last 6 hours alone have been pure chaos. Some people are probably just waking up wondering what kind of drama exploded overnight. Like, hold up, what happened while everyone was asleep? Don't worry, here's where the story picks up. Late last night, while most of the world was offline, 50 Cent released a brand new power theme record. And on that track, he appeared to take direct shots at T.I. and members of his family. Yes, you heard that right. After a long stretch of trolling from the sidelines, 50 Cent finally stepped back into the booth and answered one of his rivals through music. Now, if you haven't heard the track yet, it's already circulating everywhere online. And here's where the timeline gets even more interesting. This song arrived roughly 12 hours after 50 Cent publicly hinted that a surviving T.I. and Tiny documentary could be in the works. That announcement immediately gave people an idea of the direction he might be taking in this feud. The rumored angle would revisit past sexual assault allegations connected to T.I. and Tamika Tiny Harris, potentially putting their public image under a microscope again. The strategy feels similar to the approach used when 50 Cent backed a documentary about Sean Diddy last year on Netflix. But listen, this time the online reaction hasn't been entirely supportive. Some critics are pushing back hard on the idea. A few voices argue that the focus might not actually be about supporting alleged victims. Instead, they claim the stories could be used as leverage in a personal feud against T.I. One comment making the rounds even suggested that the narratives in a project like this could feel driven more by revenge than empathy. And that criticism has sparked a serious debate online, because what started as a rap rivalry now risks pulling very sensitive topics into the spotlight. Still, there's another side of the conversation people are bringing up. If individuals involved fully understand the situation and still choose to participate in telling their stories, the question becomes more complicated. At that point, some argue it's difficult to place the responsibility entirely on the person producing the documentary. Either way, the tension escalated even further when that power theme song dropped, with bars clearly aimed at T.I. and his circle. Listen to this. Just hours earlier, it seemed like T.I. might slow things down with 50 Cent. There was even speculation that his sons might cool off for a moment. For a brief second, it actually felt like a ceasefire might be happening, because T.I. and members of the Harris camp had been appearing on interviews across different platforms, talking as if the clash had already wrapped up. But hold up, that assumption didn't last long. Within the same hour that new music from 50 Cent started circulating, the Harris camp fired right back.
Yes, the response came that quickly. In fact, T.I. and his sons dropped a diss record almost immediately after the latest shot was heard. At this point, people online are saying the Harris family might be the most active crew in rap right now. Every time tension rises, they seem ready to jump straight into the booth. No hesitation, no delay. T.I. responded directly with a track titled Trauma Bond. In the record, he challenged 50 Cent to release whatever he wants and keep putting his actions on display for the world to judge. The lyrics also referenced past controversies, while warning that digging into history could open a much bigger conversation. And the closing line made one thing clear: his loyalty to his family isn't changing anytime soon. But the reaction didn't stop there. Once King Harris heard the shot aimed at his family, he immediately responded with his own move. The message was simple: no long speeches, just action. Within hours, he stepped into the studio and recorded another diss track aimed straight at 50 Cent. The song, titled Drop Top, was quickly announced for release across major streaming platforms. In his verses, King continued pushing back against the disrespect directed toward his family. One of the lines even compared how different generations handle responsibility in fatherhood. And honestly, this reaction follows the exact pattern fans have been watching for the past 2 weeks. Every time someone throws a jab at the Harris family, a response appears almost instantly. Mention the mother, mention the family name, say anything sideways, and a reply arrives within 24 hours. They've made it clear that the responses aren't running out anytime soon. No shortage of tracks, no shortage of energy. Whatever strategy gets used in this battle, they're ready to match it step for step. Now here's the question that has people watching closely. After 50 Cent finally stepped into the booth and aimed bars at T.I., will other artists from his circle start jumping into the fight too? Could members connected to G-Unit decide to back him up in this clash? Because historically, rap feuds sometimes grow bigger once allies get involved. And it doesn't necessarily have to be long-time names like Uncle Murda or Tony Yayo stepping forward. Even artists who've been closely linked with 50 Cent in recent years, like DaBaby, could technically enter the conversation. After all, there are plenty of newer rappers who have received public support or cosigns from 50 Cent over the years. So the real question now is simple. Does this stay a one-on-one battle, or is the next chapter about to pull in even more voices?
Put his arm around me and really put any opportunity in front of me that he could put in front of me and didn't care about how it affected him. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that I didn't help, that I done been a major part of what they got going on. But because what I got going on right now could potentially affect what they got going on. Right. I didn't.
They pick up the phone and call you, but they ain't doing it publicly.
I done went from from the biggest asset they done never had to a liability. I see completely different people. You get what I'm saying? That was never the case with him, and he stood nothing to gain. He stood nothing to gain. A lot of these is people that gain from me directly. Or have already gained from me. He stood nothing to gain. You know what I mean? The entire time.
This might be the moment where allies start showing exactly where their loyalty stands. Because despite what's been said publicly, many people believe 50 Cent still has that competitive rap energy in him. Now, whether he plans to drop a full diss record or just throw more lyrical jabs here and there is still unclear. But one thing is obvious. T.I. and his family have pushed this situation far enough that the tension with 50 Cent is clearly heating up.